it is very important to remind oneself, because if we don't remind in that way, it will be hard for us to focus right away on the abdomen, because our mind is very easily, it drags away, it wanders, it goes away, anything it can do, so easily it can do. So that's why it is very important to remind oneself to put attention right away on the abdomen. Another thing it would be better to remind oneself is while observing rising and falling, if thinking and thoughts take place at that time also, we have to note immediately, because sometimes we forget to note. We may flow with the thinking and thoughts. So it is also better to remind oneself that whenever I will realize that my mind is thinking or the planning or the wondering or whatever, I will note it immediately. Okay, after reminding in that way, we pay attention on the abdomen and we try to observe the movements of the abdomen, belly, rising and falling. So as I mentioned early in the morning, it is very important to observe the belly. Okay, so after reminding oneself and after closing our eyes, we have to pay attention immediately to the abdomen, and when we pay attention to the abdomen and observe the rising and falling, it is very important to observe clearly, like we are seeing by our eyes. And in order to see clearly, in order to observe clearly the movements of the abdomen, two factors are needed. Two factors will play very important role. They are, first is aiming to the abdomen. So we have to aim our mind to the abdomen. We have to target, we have to direct our mind to the abdomen. And the second one is applying energy. Mental energy is needed, and that is something like pushing your mind to be close with the abdomen. So we have to push our mind to the abdomen. That is also the energy. We have to be very active. We have to be very energetic. We have to be very enthusiastic to observe the movements of the abdomen. It is like playing the marble. When we play marble, aiming is also needed. But aiming alone cannot do anything. If we just aim but not applying energy, our marble will not hit to the next one. And in another hand, if we just use energy without aiming, then that also will not be effective. Ready? Okay, I will repeat.
Yeah, yes.
For example, it is like a playing the marble. When we play the marble, we have to aim first, then we have to apply energy. Aiming alone cannot do anything if we don't apply the energy. And another hand, if we just apply energy without aiming, that will not be also effective. only when we aim accurately and apply the sufficient energy, our marble will hit to the another one. In the same way, when we observe the abdomen, we have to take our mind and we have to apply the energy. If these two factors are present, then we can see the abdomen very clearly. The rising and falling, we can see very clearly. And we have to aim repeatedly, we have to apply energy repeatedly. Not only for the one time, we have to do it again and again. For each and every rising and falling, we have to be applying energy and we have to be aiming to the abdomen. If we do repeatedly, then our energy will get strong. If we aim repeatedly, then the skill of aiming to the object will be also developed. Okay, so we are talking that the aiming is very important and the energy is very important and we should apply it repeatedly. One time of applying energy and aiming is not enough. We have to do it again and again. If we do it repeatedly, then our energy will be strong, and if we do repeatedly, our aiming mind will be accurate, and so that we will slowly come to see the movements of the abdomen more clearer. For example, if we observe the first rising and falling energetically with the aiming mind, then again second rising and falling also we have to observe in the same way. The third rising and falling also we have to observe in the same way. Fourth rising and falling also we have to observe in the same way. So repeatedly and continuously we have to observe the rising and falling in the same way. If we become able to do so, then there will be less wandering mind, or we can say that mind will not drag out easily because the force, the energy has applied to absorb the rising and falling. So that's why the mind will not drag out easily, the mind will not wander easily, or the thinking and thoughts will not take place easily. In case if mind wanders or mind has thinking and thoughts, then it will be very easy to recognize. And also very quickly we will recognize the thinking and thoughts. But if our energy and the aiming mind is not good enough, then it will be very hard, or it will take time us to recognize the thinking and thoughts. And when we become able to catch the thinking and thoughts immediately, then it will be also easy to return back to the abdomen again. And it will be also very helpful for us to purify our mind. If we are observing rising and falling continuously, that means we are also purifying our mind because we are not giving chance to enter the defilement, or we are not giving rooms for the defilement or the impurities of the mind. All of you better know that we are practicing meditation in order to purify our mind. So in order to purify, we have to observe every object continuously and without any gap. And the more we can do so, the more mind will be purified. When our mind become clean, then it will become also calm also. Calmness will be there. And when mind become clean and calm, definitely there will be the happiness. So in order to enjoy the happiness, we have to do so. We have to observe continuously. Repeatedly, I am saying that we have to observe continuously because at the beginning of the practice, most of the yogis, we miss a lot. Like we observe one or two rising and falling, then we miss again. We forgot to observe the rising and falling again. So most of the time, we are missing the object. We are losing the object. We are not recognizing the object. So that means we are losing our mindfulness. In order to not to happen so, that's why I am repeatedly saying it is very important to observe the object, whether it is rising and falling, whether it is other objects, need to be observed very continuously, without any interval, without any gap. And it is also important to observe continuously to develop the good mindfulness. And when the mindfulness becomes good enough, strong enough, then concentration will develop. So in order to develop concentration, also it is very important to observe continuously. And when the concentration becomes stronger, then definitely wisdom will develop. So in order to make our mindfulness stronger, in order to make our concentration stronger, and in order to develop the wisdom, it is very important to observe continuously. I guarantee that those yogis who try their best to observe continuously without any gap, they will progress very fastly. I guarantee that the mindfulness will get stronger soon, the concentration will get strong soon, and wisdom will develop, and those yogis will enjoy the essence of the Vipassana, the taste, the genuine taste of the Vipassana will be enjoyed by those yogis. So rising and falling also must be observed continuously and energetically. After that, if thinking and thoughts are taking place, they also must be observed energetically and continuously. And if pain is taking place, unpleasant sensations are taking place, they also must be observed continuously. As we mentioned, when we observe rising and falling, we have to aim, we have to apply the energy. In the same way, we have to observe the thinking and thoughts also. If it is about to observe the unpleasant sensations, that also must be observed by aiming accurately and applying enough energy. So this is what we are talking about, the walking and sitting meditation. But this method is not just applied in the sitting, but in walking also we have to do same thing. When we are observing the movements of the leg, we have to aim our mind to the leg and we have to apply the energy. The same method, the same system must be applied during the walking meditation also. All the meditators must understand that By doing walking meditation also, we can develop mindfulness, we can develop concentration, we can develop wisdom. So that's why, like we do the sitting meditation, similarly we have to do walking also diligently, energetically, systematically, effectively, precisely. Most of the yogis, they fail to do diligently, energetically in walking meditation. They work hard in the sitting meditation, but sometimes they do not in walking. We should not do that. How hard work we did, how hard work we do in the sitting meditation, in the same way we have to do the walking also. So that means we should not be careless in walking meditation. We should not be casual. We have to work hard, because sitting and walking meditation are interrelated. If you do better in the sitting, if you do better in the walking meditation, you can do better in the sitting meditation. That's why each step, the first step also must be observed carefully, diligently. The second step also must be observed very carefully. The third step, fourth step, all the succeeding steps must be observed very carefully without any gap, like we did, like we talked about the rising and falling. So I conclude my talk that the main important thing during the practice is whether we are observing rising and falling, whether we are observing thinking and thoughts or mental objects, whether we are observing the different kind of sensations in the body, on the body, or we are observing the steps of the legs. We have to aim accurately, and we have to be very energetic, very active in order to develop the mindfulness. And do it repeatedly, not only one time, not only for the true time, but all the time while you are meditating, whether it is sitting or whether it is walking, do it repeatedly. If you do it repeatedly again and again, over and over, you will learn how to practice very quickly, and you will become skillful also. And when you become skillful, when you learn how to practice, then it will be easy to develop mindfulness, it will be easy to develop concentration, it will be easy to develop wisdom. And if we become able to develop mindfulness, concentration and wisdom, very soon we will enjoy the delicious taste of the Vipassana, the genuine happiness that we are wanting to enjoy. So I hope and I wish that may you all the meditators be able to do so, and may you all be able to develop mindfulness, concentration and wisdom very soon, and may you all be able to enjoy the genuine happiness very soon.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.